Oh, that slow start freaks me out. I swear I think the goddamn card's gonna error every time. Anyway, these are those which I discovered them like in the review of the Emotiva XPS through 2, XPS 2, XPS 1. And I was like, Emotiva was like, hey, we could send you those. What are they? Pasta, these are the XPA HC1s, and they're only on Emotiva.com. And my friend, the X Series development team, all signed. Purchase a family of quality-focused, value-conscious audiophiles. Regarding equals or surpasses. Power sonics efficiency. Okay, this is a big book of things. These are the monoblocks that are the same modern design amp as the big Emotiva that I reviewed, only a monoblock. So it doesn't have to be the full size, which is why it isn't. I'm going to take a wild stab and say this is only a power cable, and of course they're going to make me cut tape. Don't make me cut tape. This is I'm going to cut tape on one side, maybe? Yeah, good. And this claims to be assembled in the USA out of foreign components, which I never trust that whole statement. That is a very, very thick... We've got a very, very thick power cord, not grounded, a non-grounded power cord with only 2 prongs. And it looks to be a 12-volt trigger, which is a 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter mono. And I'm not going to take this out at all, because it should still work with any other standard power cord. And it won't be janked to shit. I hate just big circles, man. Big circles. I always like the blanket they wrap this thing in. How do I get this out? There's no instructions. I need like a lifting handle. It has no features. Like it has no like you lift up through a porthole usually. I think I'm gonna do. Oop, there we go. I got it out. I use gravity, everybody. This always bothers me too, the giant piece of tape. Like you go through all the trouble of wrapping it up like nice, like in a bag, and tape it. Like I get it. Drawstrings are expensive. I'm not keeping that piece of tape though. Ooh, I could see a bottom. This is the Dachshund of power amps. Because it's not small. But again, the regular Emotiva amp was so big. It was just so big. So let's just flip this bitch back on its feet. Oh. I'll only be unboxing one of these today. Wow. Actually, the shocking case is nice. There's our slot. We've got... This is the power supply. That's the amp. Boom. The face is going to be real boring. Power button, HC1, XPA. Please remove before use, even though it's not really required. And then if we turn it on its face, and I'm gentle putting it down. That was less than gentle. We have trigger in and out. We have status LEDs on and off. A circuit breaker and not a fuse, which is nice, because people are going to push things real hard. The master power on off, and then the exact same slot amp that we have in the other Emotiva, the big one. So, actually, is it more powerful? Because it's solo with the solo thing. But anyway, you get to your binding posts out, your XLR in, your RCA in, and your select between the two, which is not really making this like a selectable thing, but it's you could pick either one of those. Got big chonky rubber feet, plenty of vent holes. I see through you. And that's it. That is the end of features of this monoblock. And I'm going to wire these up today to these triangles, and hopefully that way if they explode, the triangles, Emotiva should cover the costs, right? Right. I'm sure I'll get some sort of excuse. So the next thing I want to unbox today, right now, actually all this stuff belongs there. That one. I've got another one out in the hallway which we'll have to save for another time because it's just too much right now. But this is Emotiva's 8-inch subwoofer, and this box has been eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So I got an 8 and the 12. And the 12 is significantly heavier than this 8. Like sometimes they're not, like Dayton subs are usually it's like here's the 8, here's a 10, here's a 12, and it's like a 12-pound difference. No, that son of a bitch is huge and heavy. Aha! They've gone with the it looks like another cardboard box design. Get in there. Get in there. So, how do we get this out? You there. It's my brain doing math. It pauses to math. There's the 8. I need to not cut my Johnson off with these cardboard things. Now here I reach in and I feel the cone. So I don't want to grab it by the cone. Actually, I feel the exposed cone. I also... Oh, no, wait. That's the downward firing cone. And these are the feet. So I can... There we go. Nice little light baby sub. I forget how much this thing runs, like as far as cost. But it is... I haven't had a good 8-inch sub to recommend in a while. Like there are some 8-inch subs out there, but it's like, like the best subwoofer pretty much ever was that fucking Martin Logan Dynamo 300. Like that thing hit way above its cost. So that thing ran like $140 on Amazon. So this is not down there. But if this can just perform, like really perform, if I can put this against, because the only other 8-inch sub I have here is the Edifier, and this is a much more traditional. Actually, no, that's a more traditional subwoofer. This has got some special shit going on, and we'll talk about that in a second. Can I rest this on its fascia? Yeah, it feels strong enough. It's also light. This is like, it's light. It's a one-hander, yet it still feels solid. Okay, we've got, that's important. These are important, and that's why I wanted to review this. We've got a very basics, wow, that's weird. Oh! I'm sorry, I got a little excited. I didn't even, honest to God, I said, hey, you know, you got new subs, you want to send me some? And they said yes, and they sent me 2. I didn't even look at the back. This is amazing. So, wow, how do I start this? The high-level terminals are usually important because you set up your amp on your desk, whatever it is, SMSL SA50 or Topping PA3 or the new SMSL DA8S, something like that. You run speaker wire up to your speakers, but you run another set of speaker wire. It doesn't have to be high gauge. Just run those down here to your terminals on this. They can be little fucking skinny 22 gauge just to tell the subwoofer what the amp is doing. And it has to be at the same time so that when you turn the volume down on your amplifier up there, it turns the signal down on the little wires that are coming to this, and it lowers your sub, and it raises your sub, and it controls it all, and you just balance it. However, the ultimate thing to have happen on a sub would be not an LFE input, which this does have, which is a summed mono input, RCA inputs. RCA inputs are great. However, usually they don't benefit you for any sort of, like, the actual advantage of having a subwoofer is you could take the low end away from the speakers. Because if you add a sub, you don't want the speakers producing the low end that the sub is not producing. And up until this very fucking second, that was an impossible fucking task. However, this looks like it has in and out RCAs with a frequency cutoff for the out. I don't see a disable, but if you're using this as a loop through, in other words, you can go, that means you could put this between your DAC and your amp. You can go computer, high-end DAC, RCA outs into this, RCA outs from this into your amplifier that controls your speakers. You can't do that. No, wait, that's wrong. Because you still are controlling. You have to control before this to get the volume to be adjusted, but you can set it to not output the frequencies of 180 or 60 through these RCAs. So it will cut it off. That would be more for powered monitors. In fact, that's a better option than most subwoofers designed for powered monitors do. This way, if you get LS50s, or, well, LS50s would be one thing you could get. But if you got LSR 305s or 306s, you run your control, whatever it is, your DAC with a volume control, into this, and then out of this, and then you set your frequency cutoff to, you know, 80 hertz. Then those 305Ps, I'm thinking about the old ones, will no longer try to produce under 80 hertz, which is great, which means you free them up so you can play them louder without distortion. It's all put on this bitch. 180 or 0 degree phase plug, on-off power, minimum maximum volume, your regular crossover for the sub, so you can have the crossover for the sub at 60, and then you have the crossover for the in and out of the RCA. You got these huge feet because this down-firing woofer. But wait, there's more. There's a down-firing woofer, but that's not the actual subwoofer. That's behind this very, very aesthetically pleasing grill. That's the actual woofer. This son of a bitch has a passive radiator. One of these is a passive radiator. I forget which one. All their subs do, the 12-inch as well. So that's gonna kick major ass. When you go with a second driver, though, that's a dead driver. There's nothing powering it. There's a powered one in the front. I believe the powered one is the front, and the bottom just sort of goes along for the ride. And since it's not a port, it can't chuff. It can't make the noises. And look at the sexiness of this. Like it doesn't take much to make this sexy by just flaring the corners back, or I don't know. It's not flared. What would you call that? Cropping them back? Because the box, that looks pretty like plain square. And you pop it, and actually there's no up, down, left, and right, is there? It's just perfectly square. Put that on there. It gives just this little bit of like ooh. So yes, I'm now super interested in playing with this, because this could be the ultimate in, oh, you got a subwoofer, you need one for your living room, for your desk. Because that switch is unique as fuck. Plus the design is unique, and I'm gonna have to go unbox a 12-inch now, because I'm seriously wondering how well the 12-inch is gonna handle my room. Because that's the ultimate goal. I don't know if that's the biggest they make. They can make it 15. But if the 12 can work in my room, I'll request the 15. And this. So yeah, amps. I got to unbox the other amp, put it there, and then this, and then whoo,